We are solving so many different problems, I feel, for people who walk their dogs. It is more than just a water bottle because the spray feature offers a little bit more to the consumer. It's just how do you communicate that? How do you get them to notice that in the first couple seconds before they bounce? Because the attention spans are so much shorter today.
Welcome to the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast. I'm Tori Mystic. As a dog mom lifestyle expert, blogger, and business owner, I love talking to other women in the pet industry and sharing their advice with you every week. Sit, stay, and listen to the latest episode. In this episode, I am sharing a conversation with an entrepreneur that I met in person at SuperZoo this past August. Kerry Cooke is the founder of Tail Chasers and the inventor of Spleash, a water-holding spray leash handle. She told me how she came up with the idea while walking her dog in the warm California weather and always forgetting to bring a water bottle and separate dog bowl. The Spleash can spray your dog with water to help them cool off, and it can also be used as drinking water for them with the attached bowl. In addition to designing and launching this product, Kerry is also vice president of sales at a biotech company. She shared with me what it's like to create a dog gear startup, get publicity, and push for conversions, all while juggling many other responsibilities. The element of the Tail Chasers business that really stands out the most to me is the charitable component. Kerry and her daughter have a very personal story about the impact of therapy dogs, and they're dedicated to making that wonderful resource available to more people. Kerry was such a pleasure to talk to. I hope that you enjoy this episode. If you do, please share it with someone who would also enjoy it. You can tag me on Instagram at Wear, Wag, Repeat, and I will share your story and share your posts. Or you can post about it on TikTok and tag me at Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast. Tail Chasers is a small family business still in the puppy stage. Kerry and Catherine Cooke are a mother-daughter duo bringing innovation and creativity to everything they do. Naturally, this illustrious quest includes dog walks. Kerry, a successful biotech business development, sales, and marketing professional, and Catherine, a recent honors graduate of San Diego State University, came up with the idea of the Spleash and Tail Chasers on an actual dog walk together with their 3 four-legged family members. Now they get to work together with people and pets to deliver unprecedented, savvy products that make lives with pets easier. Hi, Kerry. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Tori. Thanks for having us. We're excited to be here.
Yes, I'm excited to learn all about the Spleash. I actually met you and your daughter in person at SuperZoo earlier this summer. And I have to tell you that the Spleash was kind of like the talk of my friend group. Everyone was like, have you seen the Spleash? Did you see the Spleash? So I think part of it is it's a fun name to say. But it's a really cool product too. So if you could maybe tell our listeners, what is a Spleash?
Yes. Oh, I'm really happy to hear that feedback. That just makes me smile from ear to ear. Spleash is a spray leash handle that you attach to your favorite leash, and it holds up to 12 ounces of water and sprays at least 14 feet. And the reason we came up with it is we were out walking our Black Lab Weimaraner mix named Lola, who has boundless energy, and we live in Southern California. And I would almost clockwork leave the house, get a few blocks away, and realize I forgot the water. And you just can't forget the water in most of the weather conditions around here. So I would go back to the house, and one day it was really hot. We were sitting in the shade and Lola was really hot. So I had one of those bottles where you squeeze the water and it comes up into the cup. And I sort of started tossing it on her. And I just said, well, this would be so much easier if it was a squirt gun. We could direct the water where we want it to go. And that's really how it was born. It was just that simple. And I thought, well, I have leashes that I love. I have the same leather leash that I used with my previous rescue dogs that I love dearly. And I wanted to use the same leash with Lola. So I didn't want to have to buy a new leash. I wanted it to become the handle so that you could not forget your water. It's the end of the leash. So you just fill it up and off you go. And that's really how Spleash was born.
So it kind of looks like how can I explain it? It almost looks like the handle of a retractable leash a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
But there's like this little kind of door that opens, right? And you can put your handle of your existing leash in there. So what's cool about that, like a lot of times when I walk my dogs, I have the handle in one hand, and then with the other hand, I use to kind of hold them closer to me or just have more control. So you can still do that with this, which is nice.
Yes, that's exactly what we wanted to provide, a little bit more flexibility. You're right. Almost everybody who looks at it, the first thing they think of, it's retractable. No, it actually doesn't come with a leash. It's meant to, be added through that little cam wheel device that we created. And once it locks on there, it's in position, and, we pulled a truck with it. So it's really strong connection to your leash. We didn't want it to just pop off if some dog, was strong and pulled too hard. Lola, as I said, is boundless energy. She's tested Spleash to the max. Unfortunately, she's a little dog aggressive. So when we see other dogs out, after all this crazy training and everything we've tried, it's her personality, and we just adjust accordingly. So she tests out that connection on every single walk.
It sounds like what I say with my dogs is everything's been lab tested, and it sounds like Lola is doing that for you too.
Yes, she sure is. And we wanted to, as I said, prove that it had a strong connection, because it doesn't come with a leash. And so that's how we, did this video where my nephew actually hooked it up to a rope leash and pulled a F-150, I think it was, or a Toyota Tundra. I can't remember. We also ran it over with a truck to prove how durable it was. So yeah, Spleash has been truck tested and dog approved for use at our house.
That's very cool. I like that kind of just DIY sort of testing on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got to sort of be a little creative with some of your resources when you're just a small puppy startup. As we said at the beginning, we're still growing into everything and learning the ropes here. So it's been a really amazing experience.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and you're right. You have to kind of be creative, and but it's amazing now, you can just make videos demonstrating anything. You don't need like a whole huge production studio to do anything anymore.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, that video of the truck pull was one of the first videos that went viral on our TikTok channel. So it's got, I think, just under 2 million views. It was, that was amazing. That was something that was exhausting for, I think, 3 days straight. All we were doing was answering comments on TikTok, just like one after that. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. It was so exciting. But yeah, what a way to, get the word out about a cool new product and show people how it works, and put up a TikTok or a reel about it. And so like every other, business out there, we're trying to raise awareness that we exist as a new product. And this is really a different product. As you mentioned, when you first look at it, you think it's a retractable leash. So we've after SuperZoo decided we're going to put it's not retractable on some of our messaging, just to clarify that for people.
Yeah, no, it's a good point, because if you don't stop to kind of ask you about it, at first glance, you might assume that it's a retractable leash. So that's one misconception. But what are some other kind of surprising ideas that people have had about the Spleash?
Some really funny ones. Some of those comments actually came off of a different TikTok video that went not as viral, but got, a couple 100,000 views. And that was just, we were filling it up at the sink with water and showing how to attach it onto a leash. It was very, very simple. And when that one started taking off, a lot of the early comments were, don't use tap water with your dog. That was surprising. We have a house water filter system, so we're, okay. We were using filtered water, but, I was just surprised about that. Just thinking about, well, they lick their feet all the time and, all kinds of other things. We have pretty good water in most places in the United States. We're very lucky. That was surprising, but more so the really interesting ways that people have thought of using Spleash are comical, like, we can put our beer in there, or, we can fill it with vodka, go to a concert with your dog, and then you just squirt in your mouth for yourself. So those are some of the funnier ways customers have said they were going to use Spleash. And also some of them do use the flip open bowl to provide the bowl with a little bit of kibble or treats if they're just out and traveling. They didn't want to carry both. So, that flip open cup, if you offer it to the dog sideways, it's a good size for the larger dogs to be able to drink from it. And certainly they could have a little snack from it too.
For sure.
That was a surprising use I didn't really think of when I first came up with it.
It's always handy to have some kind of little bowl. And if it's just attached and flips open, that's very convenient.
Yeah, incredibly convenient.
So in the development of this whole product, had you had any experience making a product from scratch like this before?
No, that's the funny part. I started my career in sales and in consumer product goods. So I was in this sort of category of selling products into, grocery stores. I worked for Gallo Wine Company and then Nabisco, and I did sales training and recruiting for Nabisco in the Pacific Northwest. And that was just really great training ground for me to really understand the process that a product takes from manufacturer to the end user, albeit via grocery stores or liquor stores. So I had that understanding of how schematics work and planograms with where product placement's going to go, and the ideal customer that you're looking for. Is it 5'5", right-handed female is the one like that most shelf placement is designed for in grocery stores.
So specific.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So the early part of my career was there. And then I made this wild switch right when my daughter was born. She was 4 weeks old, and I got hired on with a company called Myriad Genetics doing genetic testing for breast and ovarian cancer. And they wanted people that had the personality and the fortitude and desire to really learn and go forth and get more people educated on their brand new test and technology. And they hired me because I had those characteristics, and they felt they could train me on the genetics and the real intricate things they needed to train for the breast cancer and ovarian cancer testing. And that's when I started my path in the genetic testing space. And I still work in that space. I'm currently also VP of sales for a therapy selection company. We do therapy selection for cancer patients using AI. So we can match the therapy to the biomarkers of the cancer patient. And when I had this idea, I came home and I just thought I was going to buy it. Like I thought, oh, it exists, and I'm going to go buy it. So I went on Amazon and I started with squirt dog bottle, squirt water bottle, spray water bottle. And, I kept going, different terms, deeper, 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 30 pages deep on Amazon, 30 pages deep on Google. My gosh, I can't find anything like this. Can't be something that's not out on the market. And it wasn't. So I started Googling again, how to, and that's essentially how I did it. I just kept researching, how to make a product, how to invent a product, what are the steps involved. And I found this great website called startups.com that has all of the steps laid out for how to start a startup, and from setting up the legal documents and all of the different pieces. And I just really dove in to the deep end. And now
that's amazing.
I'm treading water, and I'm a little puppy in the deep end, trying to make sure that this, massive investment that I've made in our idea will, hopefully pay off.
Well, I think, it's you have such a great combination of experience and skills, because I think creating the product is one thing, having the idea is one thing. But then I think a lot of people get stuck. They think, I'll just set up a website and people will just buy it. And that's how it will work. But I'm sure you've experienced that's not how it works.
Yeah, absolutely not. I wish that's how it worked. We have had 3 iterations of our website so far, even though we're only, I think, technically as an organization, 3 years old right now. So like 1 website per year. But we finally have, we're on Shopify now. We've just learned. And I think that's what I love most about all of the work that I do. I love learning. I love learning something new and figuring things out. And in the genetic space, you don't have an opportunity to get bored because innovation is coming so fast. Like the second you figure one piece out, they discover something else that helps. And then, you're just constantly learning, adjusting. And that's what I've been doing with Tail Chasers and with Spleash. We try something and then adjust accordingly. And the website piece, I just love our website now. We finally have it to a place visually where I really love the layout and the design and the colors and all of that.
Yeah, I have to tell you, your website is beautiful. It is
thank you.
Very impressive. Looking the colors and the graphics and the moving parts. It's a beautiful website.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was, it took a long time to get it to that place, but I'm super happy with it now. And then like every other, startup and company out there, now you have to get the conversions to fall into line. So you may have a beautiful looking website, but you still have to figure out how to get people to purchase and, make sure your messaging is on point. And we are solving so many different problems, I feel, for people who walk their dogs. It is more than just a water bottle, because the spray feature offers a little bit more to the consumer. It's just, how do you communicate that? How do you get them to notice that in the first couple seconds before they bounce? Because the attention spans are so much shorter today than I feel like they used to be with advertising. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. What if your pet could see an experienced and compassionate veterinarian without ever leaving the house? This year, I discovered Better Vet, a mobile vet that empowers pet parents to get expert veterinary help from the comfort of their own homes. Our pets often associate carriers, car rides, and vet offices with anxiety. By examining your pet at home, it not only eliminates stress and fear, but it also allows the doctor to see your pet in their natural environment and better assess their health. I used the Better Vet app to book a wellness exam for Bert and Lucy. Dr. Olivia Wilson and her vet tech Amanda brought the vet's office to my house. For Lucy, this was great news because she gets a lot of fear in exam rooms. At home, she could have her emotional support stuffed animals with her at all times. Dr. Olivia did a thorough exam on both dogs, answered all of my many questions, gave Lucy a rabies vaccine, and took a blood sample from Bert, all right in my living room. After our appointment, I compared the price to a brick and mortar vet that we visited last year, and it was only slightly more to have an expert vet come to my house. Well worth it, in my opinion. Would your pet like home vet visits? I loved this experience so much, I became a Better Vet BFF. Check out bettervet.com and use my code BVBFFTMystic to get $100 off your first visit. I know it's long, so I'll put that code in the description for this episode. Treat your pet to vet care of the 21st century at bettervet.com. And I think part of the thing that helps with converting people is when they've seen it or heard about it in many different places. So, you've got TikTok and Instagram and your website, but you also have done tons and tons of press coverage. And so I had to ask you before we even hit record, kind of what your secret to that was. And you shared that you work with a PR agency, and it seems to be really effective based on the coverage that I see on your site. So, I thought it might be great if you could share some tips on how to make the most of working with a PR agency, or any kind of tips that you have for people.
Well, yeah, first of all, I think I lucked out and I really did get just a great PR team that I'm working with now. And when I launched, I found a really good PR team too that I worked with. They were offering free classes to train you on how to do your own PR. I'm like, well, I'll try that and learn and see what happens. They were more focused in the tech space. So it wasn't the best fit for all of their contacts, but they gave us a really great launching starting point for Spleash. And then we switched over to a more pet focused PR group that we're using now. And tips for when you're doing it by yourself, there's the Help a Reporter Out, which has been phenomenal. And so you sign up for that website and you get the, request for pitches every day, and you just go through and Command F, for terms that are near and dear to your product's heart. So, dog is the first one I start with, and Command F through all of the requests for stories, and then just respond. And I feel like with the PR group and with our own endeavors to get Spleash out there, I think people do recognize it is a different product. It is really something that's unique that hasn't been on the market before. And so that gives it a little bit of a leg up than, some of the ones that are maybe a slight variation of another thing that's existed for a while. But our team we're working with it's Orca PR. I love the whole crew there. They're amazing. They're very attentive. They really understand their customers' niche. And when they do the pitches, I feel like at least Jennifer, who's our person, she's doing it from the heart. And you can tell. And like she really enjoys our product and what our company is trying to accomplish. And I feel like that part comes through. And when you can honestly pitch something, it just is received better. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I just see this time and time again, like when you work with people who are pet people, like they just get it more. Mm-hmm. And so if they're going to be speaking on your behalf, you want to make sure that they're kind of the same mindset.
Exactly. Yes. Completely agree.
Well, thanks for sharing about that. Another, speaking of story and speaking from the heart, one of the things that's important at Tail Chasers is giving back. And you do a lot with an organization called Pet Partners. And I'd love to hear more about what you do with them.
Yeah. So we landed on Pet Partners, I think probably, maybe a year and a half ago, or even close to 2 years ago. We were trying to find the right organization to help us with something that was so personal and so meaningful to both my daughter and I. We did go through something incredibly traumatic about, I want to say it's 12, 13 years ago. And it led to both my daughter and I having to testify in a murder trial. And my daughter in particular being at the time 11 years old, it was rough. And at home, we had this beautiful yellow lab named Layla, and we had Lily, who was a black lab. So we had a yellow and a black lab. Lily was deaf, and Layla was just the most amazing dog who could sense Lily was deaf and help her. And she could sense my daughter's pain and was helping her through that and was her emotional, support dog at home. But when we went to court, we had a yellow lab that looked just like Layla, who sat with her in court, in the courthouse hallway before we went in to testify. And she just poured all her love and attention into this dog. And it was such a relief for me as a mom to not have to worry about her in that moment. She wasn't observing some of the drama of the people that were walking by in front of her, some of the family members that were causing, stress. So that whole interaction was so instrumental, I believe, in her having the strength and the courage to testify. And the results of the trial and how everything worked out, I feel could have potentially been very different if she didn't have that support going into the testimony. So we are donating each year to get therapy dog teams certified. And the first year we were only able to support 2 teams. This past year, with the help of matching donations, we are able to support 4 therapy dog teams. And we just hope to keep doubling every year and more. Like, if we can do more, we want to do more. Every state doesn't have therapy animal programs like this that are allowed to go in court, and we feel like they should. And, however we can raise awareness and funds to help assist other people in a similar situation, we would love to do that.
Yeah. And what an amazing and powerful motivation to have, kind of pushing you forward in your business all the time. You just think, if Spleash grows to this level, think of the impact that we can make.
Yeah, that really is something I think that drives both Kat and I. We want to make sure that this woman, her name was Jennifer, who lost her life very needlessly, that her memory can live on in some very positive way, and that her children who lost their mom can see, lingering effects of her life still touching other people's lives. And so, yeah, we're incredibly motivated by that. We want to be as successful as we can be, so we can pay that respect and pay it forward and really help other kids in similar situations.
Yes. And what a legacy for Jennifer and all the work that you're doing. And I'm sure it will continue to grow.
I hope so. I certainly hope so.
I'm also passionate about therapy dog work. And one of my dogs, Lucy's a certified therapy dog, and we're going to volunteer tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yay, that's awesome. And I mean, I just can't say enough too about the handlers who do this work, because the handler was also really awesome in helping her adjust to the situation with sitting in the court, and how to, make sure the dog was feeling good and she was feeling good. It was really amazing. And it does take so much time to get your dog trained to do that. And if it's not for the great handlers that are out there doing it too, just these programs wouldn't exist. So I just want to say thank you for doing that.
And it never ceases to amaze me, just like how many different situations therapy dogs can be used in. Mm-hmm. And someone told me something, and I don't know, if this is actually something that's possible or happening, but pets witness so many things. Mm-hmm. And so, if we were able to more clearly communicate with them, we might be able to uncover some things that they were the only witnesses to. And so that's kind of interesting as well.
That is totally interesting. And I would love it if we were able to do that more with pets. I'm sure, just them smelling something and the way they have this memory for a smell, that could indicate, something to law enforcement or a
Yes.
handler, that could have been missed otherwise. So however we can utilize dogs and really take advantage of these incredible senses that they have. And I think empathy being one of the biggest ones that really doesn't go as noticed, but they know. And my to this day, my daughter's like, our dog Lola, when she feels upset, if she cries, Lola is just there. She just comes running over from wherever she is and will snuggle up with her and just be. And that sometimes is all you need to get you through whatever it is that was making you sad in the first place. And
Yes.
yeah, they're just amazing animals. I love them so much.
As do I, and as does I think everyone who's listening to this podcast. So it's wonderful, not only that you're able to support such a great cause and help so many people in that way, but to also create innovative products that help us give our own like family pets a little bit better lives.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, we are quite enamored with our little product. We're super happy about how it's turned out and just want everybody to be able to experience, all the great uses for it, whether it's just, flipping open the cup to give them a quick drink, especially for, therapy dog teams that have to be working a lot and have that water handy when they need it.
Yes, I always have to take water when we volunteer because being a therapy dog, it makes you very thirsty.
Yeah. And then it has that nice spray feature. So you can clean off anything, that you need to, a paw, your hands. You could spray away the paparazzi if you have a real famous dog. There's all kinds of different uses for it. So yeah, we're excited about getting it into all dog owners' hands.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us and for telling us about your product. It's just inspiring how you just were like, I'm going to figure this out and just do it and make it. So I just love that about you. So if you could just tell everyone who's listening where they can go to learn more about Spleash.
Yeah, so you can go to spleash.com, and that's spleash.com. And we are also available on Amazon. Quickest way to find us there is probably through our Instagram link tree.
Yes. Yeah. So everyone check out Spleash on Instagram. It's Spleash_your_leash. So check them out. And thanks again, Kerry, for your time and for sharing your story with us.
Well, thank you for having me, Tori. I really enjoyed the conversation, and everybody out there, spleash your leash.
What did you like most about this episode? Find me on Instagram @TMystic and let me know what intrigued you or what questions you have about starting or growing your own dog-inspired business. You can also screenshot this episode and tag me in your stories. I love to see who is listening out there. Some of the best conversations happen after the episode, right? So track me down over on Instagram or join the Wear, Wag, Repeat Labs Facebook group to connect with other dog-obsessed entrepreneurs. And as always, you can find all the links and resources discussed in this episode at wearwagrepeat.com/podcast. See you back here next week.